Alright, we're cool.
So yeah, a full kit of lows. This character has insane lows,
Yep.
especially on counter hit. Gets pretty much a mini combo off every single freaking low that he has. UCF1, guaranteed boss ending 4 1+2. This is a counter hit launcher. At like super tip range, I think you have to opt in for like up back 3.
Yep.
That I'm not even tip range now, but like you can sort of like delay it a little bit, and pick it up sometimes, depending on like the size of the character as well. Also has a lot of execution because of K cancels like that. But you don't need that. Like it's only to get super optimal. Has pretty good punishment outside of like 10 frame
Yep.
standing because this kind of got gutted. 11 frame, sorry, 11 plus 11, but you're in stance, so you have to basically do like a free mix. And sometimes like, but old Leo 1.4 was so much better. So a lot of Leos don't like that change. Otherwise, you just get 1-2, which is tiny damage, and then like yeah, +8 still. And
Yep.
even on block, this is like really not that good. +3, -3 instead of like a -1, mainly because it has follow-ups. Most people have like a 1-2 and just the 1-2 from that string, and it's like -1 then. So like Claudia's 1-2 is like really good. But yeah, pretty good range. But yeah, so what do you want to learn first, like specifically?
Um. Right. Firstly would probably be key pokes.
All right, so you got like your jab, down forward 1. It's -1 on block, which is
Okay.
good because it's also
Yeah.
got an extension. 13 frames, pretty good. See the tracking on it. Tracks pretty well. Like, yeah, other than the weak side, yeah. You step later to the right most of the time. You can obviously like it's a poke, so you can always realign with a step forward or a side step in the same direction. Downward 4, little keep out tool. Um, really linear, but it's really quick. It's got a pushback. It's -6 is pretty good. Some characters have like -9 ones. Um, it's also really good. Back 2 is also a pretty decent poke. Back 2-1, really good poking string. Whereas back to 1+2 is the actual punish, like 14 frame punish that you use. Because yeah, that goes in heat. But yeah, those tools. And then if like you're talking about lows as well, like this is a pretty good low poke specifically. Um, neutral on hit.
It's like
Um,
balls.
yeah, pretty much. Neutral on hit, and it's only -11 though, so. And it doesn't give anything on counter hit unless you commit to this, because this is guaranteed on counter hit. But yeah, really good. What other perks? Just say two jabs also pretty decent. 2-1 is specifically a like a poking string.
Yep.
I think only -7. So but you can still do like just single 2 jab, and it will throw people off because it's like fuck 2 jab, like Jesus. But yeah, that's sort of the pokes. Do you want to go towards like counter hit options maybe?
Yep. Sure. Yeah. That'll be great.
Stars and Magic 4, which this most of the time is all guaranteed. The only way people can get out of this is if they do it like a spring kick. So, oops. So they get out of that when they spring kick. But also if there's like a floor break, if we're currently on like a floor break stage, if they spring kick out of this, then it'll just break the floor. So that is something to keep in mind. Has yeah, Magic 4. This forward 4, like all of this is guaranteed off of forward 4, which is pretty good. If you're in heat, this becomes a launcher. That what other can it tools? But I want to cover the lows, but they're also lows. So, but there's a lot of these like Like this is a counter hit tool,
Yep.
and you can counter hit fish with it. It's also really good against hop kicks because it's not just a low but a high. But this gives you pretty much that for free. And then also this is for launch. This, yeah. So those are like the kilos, but like the counter hit tools, down one. 18 frame mid. Only -2 on block, and you get a free stomp, and of course down 2. Huge. This is like one of Leo's best moves. It's 21 frames mid, +4 on block. Really strong counter hit launcher, full launch. It's really strong. That's sort of it with counter tools. He doesn't have many counter tools other than the down 2, down 1, heavy 4. That's sort of it.
Any key strings that I should know about?
Yes. So, has follow-ups with 1-2.
Yeah.
1-2-4. It's a low. On hit, you can't low parry this, and it's only -12 on block, which isn't too bad if you want to go for like a 10 frame. Oh, it's -13. So not against certain, like against Kazoo you wouldn't really do
Yeah.
that, but
Twin pistons, yeah.
yeah, this is, yeah, has that. 1-2-1 is the other follow-up. It's a high. Has 1-2-1-1 and 1-2-1-4. So which is high mid, high. And the high is like the last high is safe, and then the mid's -13. You wouldn't really be using this unless you know that your opponent doesn't know these strings, but most of the people who play like Leo, that you'll be playing Leo at like, you know, sort of like fusion rank anyway. They're gonna know this, so I wouldn't get too like abusive with this stuff. That's the reason why Leo's 1-2 is -3, is because it has the threat of the follow-ups. And you can condition them to stop pressing after 1-2 with said follow-ups, but they are pretty easy to react to. Key strings. We can talk about like back 1+2. This is sort of a string that you use. And also back 1-4. Back 1-4 puts you into K&K, which is Leo's main stance for offense.
Yep.
And pressure. This is what makes like Leo so strong, is that like this K&K pressure. It's really strong, and you can access it via back 1-4. And this is +9. This is -12, and it gets OS'd even if you go into stance if the opponent knows what you're doing. Sorry, what they're doing. But the whole reason for back 1+2, like for this to actually exist, firstly, it's as a whiff punisher from like 2.7 range, really long, and people can also step this to the left. So once you get them to, you have to get them to stop stepping by throwing out this move, and then they'll stop stepping because this catches it. Also really good string. It's only 2-hit string, but down back 2 has a string. Down back 2-4. They're both hits are -9, and the second hit's duckable. But the great thing about this is that on normal hit, this is hit confirmable. It's a heat engager. If you're in heat already, it becomes a full launch. Really strong move. You can be using this in pretty much every game that you play Leo. It's like one of Leo's best tools. It's super hit confirmable. Like the delay on that is insane. Okay, so in Lightning Glare, so basically when you key charge.
Yep.
You see how he gets these little blue hands?
Yes.
You basically get access to this this like install. You get it off certain moves. Like after this, you hold down 1+2, which is up forward 1-2. You hold down 1+2 to get that. After this, hold down 1+2, and then there's some other moves that you get it from, but Yeah, that's sort of the key ones you're gonna be getting it off. Ford War 2 is off. You get it off Ford War 2. Basically, when you're in Lightning Glare, you get access to an empowered Hell Sweep, because, you know, Leia has a Hell Sweep. And that's what it looks like compared to the actual one. You get empowered back 3-1. So this is the string that I was going to talk about. Back 3-1, pretty good. It goes into box stance as well, but you have the third hit as well when you're in Lightning Glare.
Yep.
It also goes onto this as well, which is forward 2-4. This is a really good string as well that you want to use, because forward 4 on its own is a really good range. Pretty good like single poke. It's only -1 on block. Oh, it's fucking neutral on block. It's so good. And this is only -1 on block. And this is fully jailing. Like, they cannot duck this at all. Which is really strong. If I put it to this, see, I can't duck. It's fully jailing, only -1. It's really good. You'd probably be using this instead of like a 1-2 jab, especially since people are gonna press afterwards because they think they have huge advantage if they don't know the matchup. Really good string. Also, there was one more I was gonna talk about. I think that's it. Do you want to talk about like heat specifically?
Sure.
So you have your heat engages, your main ones, back to 1+2. This is a full launcher when you're in heat, and it's 14 frames, so you get a 14 frame standing launcher.
Yep.
While standing 4 1+2 puts you in heat, which is actually really strong, because when you're in heat, if you block a low, you get all of this for a fucking while standing 11 frame move. And if you're at a certain angle of the wall, you can wall splat this. This can get onto the wall. It's actually insane. For a full combo.
I remember you hitting me with that
11. Yeah,
when we were playing before.
it's insane.
Yeah.
What was it, heat, right? Yeah, so this heat confirmable heat engager basically, and it's 16 frames as well, so it's like for a certain punishment, this is actually good because it's also fairly long range. And then you also have what was another one? What are the other heat engages? Oh, yep. Okay, so off of block, you have this Power Crush, which goes in heat. You wouldn't really be using it you wouldn't be using it that much because it's not really that good. But also, what was the fucking other one I just looked at? Oh yeah, so this is also a heat engager. Yeah, pretty good. When you go into K&K stance at like +9, this is uninterruptible. But it's duckable, but you have options from it. I'll talk about K&K in a bit. But yeah, those are your heat engages. The only one that doesn't launch out of all of these is while standing 4 1+2. Oh, sorry, and this one, and the Power Crush. But these 3 heat engages that you have of K&K 1-2, back to 1+2, and down back 2-4 are all launches. So that's really strong. Also, when Leia's in heat, you get access to the install as well, and you can use it every time you use it. It takes your heat down, and when you run out of heat, you keep 1 more install. It's sort of like Claudio's sort of blue spar, like blue hands. It's pretty much the same thing.
Starburst, yeah.
Yeah, Starburst basically. The only real like time you'll be using like these is after a heat engage at +17, because this is uninterruptible. They can't do anything about it really. They have to Eat the mix between the mid, which is minus 13, the high, which is pretty decent, and also the hell sweep. But there's a lot more that goes into play when it comes to Lowe's 50-50 in heat. After a heat engage specifically, you're plus 17, this becomes a free move. And then after that, you can threaten with Leo's Heat Smash, which is a low in KNK. After this, you can go for that and to that. So you do the Heat Engage, forward 4, and then you do the Heat Smash, which is a low in KNK, and then it's a mid in standing. Also to note, usually people when they go against Leo, they want to low parry this low. And because you have a launcher from KNK 1-2, they're really wanting to duck this stance as soon as they see you go into KNK. Or they low parry the low, right? But you can't low parry the Heat Smash. You can't low parry Heat Smashes. So, like, that's really strong, and it's a big reason for them to even just duck it in general because it's minus 13. And then that's when you have 3, which is the launching mid option, which is really good. You can make it safer by doing this whole string, but then that makes it tornado on hit. But yeah, only minus 13 is really, really good. So that's sort of Leo's heat. Do you want to talk about maybe what do you want to talk about now?
Maybe just key combos.
Okay, yep. Let's move stage. This is a really small stage. Go to like this.
Get ready for the next battle.
If you want easy execution and hard execution, it's pretty simple. Basically, easy execution is just no KNK cancels, whereas hard is KNK cancels.
Yep, and how would you cancel?
So the way you cancel is you tap up to cancel the actual dash.
Yeah.
And then you tap forward 4 at the forward and 4 at the same time after the sidestep. So like that.
Right. So it's the equivalent of maybe drag sneak cancel almost.
I'd say it's more like similar to like Lee's back 2 loops.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, that's sort of how you do it. Like that. Yeah, so after a down forward 2, just a simple launcher and a hop kick. This is the easy mode one. You do back 1 with stew,
Yep.
jab, forward 3, down 1-2, and then you end with this. Yeah, that's sort of the main bread and butter that you'll be doing if you do launch with that. It's also the max damage for easy execution. And this is the hard version. And that's the exact same damage if you do the screw. I'll do a screw now. It's a bit difficult. I'm not really that good at KNK cancels.
Yep.
Because I'm not a Leo player. And then that's combo, basically. But you have to sidestep before you do the ender to land this string. Also, this is like I forgot to mention this string.
Yep.
It's widely just used for like it's like a laser scraper for Devil Jin.
Yep.
You'll never use the first part on its own because it's minus 24. They'll see you like staggered and they'll be like, "Oh, time to launch." So you do the second hit or the third hit, and you can delay the third hit really, really hard, like that.
Right.
And yeah, second hit minus 14, third hit minus 13. But yeah, so other combos, you can get from upward 2-1. You'll easy mode, you'll just pop E. Like that. Whereas if you do have execution, you can do a instant while standing 3. Which I am not hitting right now. There we go. You can land that. Pretty difficult to do. And then you sort of just go for like, after that you'll just do like that. After that starter. What else? We can talk about normal hit launches first, actually, and then go further. Bok 2, if you hit someone with this, instantly do a forward 3. Something like this. Easy mode. That's easy mode. Big damage still. For hard, you do something like that. Something like that. And then you'll usually screw with either forward 4 1+2, which is K 1+2, or this into up forward 1-1 after you like go into your crouch dash from K. You can go into crouch dash via just doing down forward after it. You can cancel it with a sidestep. It's pretty good. What other normal hit launches? This is sort of the same combo, but just from down back 3. That sort of is the normal hit launches, I think. I think that's it. So let's talk about counter hit launch real quick.
Yep.
Is this counter hit? Yeah. If this second hit counter hits, you can pick up with either a while standing 3. It doesn't show as a combo, but it does connect. It's just difficult. Let's do that. Yeah. But easy mode, you just dash up and do heat, which is what I usually do most of the time. You also have this as well. You can just dash up and do heat. Anytime you can dash up and do heat, you can also get a while standing 3 most of the time. It's just not landing it right now. It is very difficult to do. But what else? Talked about Magic 4 already.
Maybe
Just a launcher.
what about like defensive options like maybe parries and stuff? Does he
Okay,
have
yep.
a parry?
Has many parries.
All right.
So you have this, which is a kick parry. So if like this string, for example. Oh, you can't parry it. Okay, never mind. Not that one. Let's just do like this, something like that. See, it parries kicks, and after that you get 4 into this. So you just press 4 after you parry, and then you get back to 1+2. If you're in install already, then you get this instead. Back 3-1-2, which you'll only ever do if you're in heat at the wall. Whereas if you are in heat in general, you can get that into a full launch.
Yep.
You also have back 1+3, which is a kick parry and punch parry. You press 2 after it and you get that, and it automatically goes into lightning glare. It's sort of like a forward 2 as well. And I'll show you what it looks like after punches. Like that. It's the exact same thing. Just, yeah, a little bit different. You also have, oops. You also have back 2+4, which is that. You won't really be using this unless your back's to the wall,
Yep.
because that will wall splat. You don't really get anything in the open though, so you only use it at the wall.
Got it.
And then you have one more parry. You have this, which is a sabaki, but it's a punch sabaki. So we're just, and you can pick up with while standing 3. Sorry, yeah, instant while standing 3, like that. That's the pickup you'll be getting off count hit as well, like for the other options that I was showing you, and I couldn't land it. Yeah, that's basically punch sabaki, which is actually a count hit launcher as well in general.
Wow, yeah.
So it's not completely useless. For easy mode, you can just run up and do heat as well. Yeah. So that's all the parries. And obviously very evasive with this box stance. Manual down 1+2.
Yep.
I suggest using this like manually quite often against people who have really good highs and bad lows. Maybe like against Arena. It's
Yep.
pretty decent to throw out. Even like Steve. Yeah. What else?
I can think of nothing else at the moment.
Or maybe punishment specifically.
Yeah.
And do some punishment. Yeah. 10 frame. This is the best 10 frame, unfortunately, but it is pretty bad. Leo's gifted in the fact that he has a 11 frame punish against moves like Shaheen 122. You can punish with the 11 frame. So I just show you
For the next battle.
Shaheen's string and then the punish for it. But not many people get this punish off this move.
Yep.
Pretty sure this is -11. Yep. Yeah, you can actually punish this. 11 frame. It's 2-2. Really strong. You also have 13 frame. So you'll be doing this for 12, 11 or 12. You'll be doing that. 13, you have upward 1, 2. You can also go into lightning glare. This actually wall splats. That's your fastest wall splat from standing. 13, you have back 2 1+2 to go into heat, but also you have forward 2-2, which does more damage. Does push away a little bit. +8. You also have forward 2-4, not as damaging. Like this does less damage than even the heat engager, but you're +7 in their face. You can usually go into crouch dash after it by holding down forward for some mix-ups from crouch dash. It's kind of fake. You do have an instant button mix-up between crouch dash 2 and then crouch dash 1. This will beat jab responses because it's high crushing. And then this will trade. But yeah, if you get too predictable, you can get parried out of it and whatever. And then you have down forward 15. At 16 for long range pushback, you have down back 2, down back 2-4. And then you also have forward 2, which quickest it can come out is 15. But if you want to like against like a Death Fist, you can sort of delay it a tiny bit just to get more range, because it can whiff at tip range against Paul. But against Paul, I usually would normally go for this one, which is also really good long range punish minus for minus 17 moves, forward 1+2.
Yep.
And that's sort of all of Leo's standing punishment. You won't really be using this as a punish. This can OS Devil Jin, but like Devil Jin up Samsara up 4. But Devil Jin doesn't go into fly anymore on block, so you don't need to use that.
Got it.
So it's not even an OS anymore, I guess. Crouching punishment. Dick jab for 10, while standing 4 1+2 for 11. You do get access to while standing 1+2, which does more damage. And then you can also hold down 1+2 to go into Lightning Glare. That's also the last move that you can get Lightning Glare from. But on its own, if you don't go into Lightning Glare, like if you already have it or you don't want to get it, you just straight up get a free 50-50 because they can't low parry the Hell Sweep because it's plus 22 and it comes out 20 frames. Really, really strong. For a move, for example, for a move that's minus 13 that leaves the opponent standing, you can punish with. I'll show you right now. Jin has a down back 4, which is minus 13. I'll show that what it looks like.
Get ready
But
for the
so
next
up forward
battle.
1-2's the Leo's standing punish, but you can against lows that are standing lows that
Yep.
are minus 13 or more, you can actually punish them with that move as well, which is better. That 34 damage versus 30 damage. But that's very few and far between. Like, you could punish it against Dragonov's down back 3+4, but you could also launch it. So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14. Leo does have Ascending 1, but this is you won't be using this ever. This is not a punish. This is a specifically after a heat dash from like while setting 4 1+2, or as a war combo. This is not actually used at all for punishment. You'll just be sticking to 1+2 or while setting 4 1+2. If you wanna, like, you're at minus 11, but you don't want to go for while setting 1+2 to get into the like into heat, you can just do while setting 4 on its own. It's pretty lousy though because the damage is quite whack, only 9, and then +2. Like this character was designed to get into heat on this punish. I would sort of, I personally don't like going to heat when I don't have much like recoverable health, but it's really it doesn't matter sometimes. And then if you have 15, you have Lost Lane 2. You can do hop kick, but it's got less range, and also I think it does less damage as well. Yeah. So you'll always want to opt into Lost Lane 2. Does have a what's it called?
The delayed
Delayed
hop
hop
kick.
kick?
Yeah.
But and then it does like 4 more damage, and yeah, it can be not so intuitive to use as well. You could also use this for super long range punishment, but just usually just stick to Lost Lane 2. That's sort of it. I'll talk about real quick the moves that go into K&K, because K&K is really important.
Yep.
It's just this move. Like you'll be using most of the time just forward 4. Whenever pillows like think of K&K, they just think, oh yeah, forward 4, because this is the move you'll be going into K&K the most. +9. Your options are this: you get uninterruptible high string that is kind of safe because it has that mid extension, and you can actually go into Bok after the 1. You won't really be doing this unless you know it's gonna land, but even if you know it's gonna land on the after like counter hit forward 4, because this is hit confirmable. If you just mash out the 1, you can sort of delay the second hit quite a bit. It's kind of difficult, but if you're really looking for it, you can do it. You also have another high move, which is even more uninterruptible. Only 4-frame window. It's safe as well, but obviously very duckable. This also is guaranteed off of forward 4 counter hit. But you'll only be using this at the wall because the other one does more damage, and this does wall splat. So you also have forward 4 into 1+2. You won't really be using this, in my opinion, unless you go into K&K like on hit, like on normal hit, not counter. On normal hit, like for example, if you, this is not a normal hit string, but if this counter hits, this is natural. If you go into that, the 1+2, this becomes uninterruptible. Trade with jabs. You just get a massive launch. The main options you'll be focusing on though are this to get people to actually start ducking the stance. They'll also just automatically duck these options. But then the thing that you have to catch them with, you have to use K and K3. Like this is essential, because if you don't, then they're just gonna keep ducking and getting everything out. Because that's the only thing that you can, that's the mid option. And yes, it's unsafe, but you know, you have to do it. And also you have a sweep, which might just give you this for free. I think this is definitely free. I know that like this is free as well, but yeah. The moves to go into K&K from, besides forward 4, is back 1-4, but obviously if you're going against an opponent that knows that it's steppable, don't get too abusive with this move. What else goes into K&K? Back 4 can go into K&K. Back 4, 1 tilde 4. The only time you'll ever use this is if you have used this string a lot, because this is uninterruptible with jabs, but you can interrupt this because of the slow startup. So if you've conditioned them to sit still, because they can't step or press into this, if you've conditioned them to sit still, then you can access that, which is really, really strong. That's sort of it with, oh yeah, also block 4, which is also very strange. If you get people to sit still with spamming out Power Crush, or for example, after this, your plus, I forgot to put block. Your +4 in block. And this is very interruptible, but if you get them to sit still by using this, which is uninterruptible, it is -14, but it is uninterruptible, and it will launch, it will actually launch the opponent on natural hit. Yeah, then you can start doing this, which is also really good. That's sort of it. Just
Alright.
don't forget the Hell Sweep.
Got
Don't
it.
forget the Hell Sweep. That's sort of it, yeah.
Alright, thank you. I'll
Yeah,
stop
no
the
worries.
recording.
Hopefully I didn't